Hi, everybody, and welcome back to my kitchen. My name is Greta, and I'm the dietitian at John Stoddard Cancer Center. So we're back again with another great recipe, and this time it is a chicken dish. So I get a lot of comments about using chicken more in everyone's diet, and people say it's boring, chicken doesn't taste good. So this is a really interesting and well-flavored chicken dish, so I'm hoping that all this wonderful flavor will make you enjoy chicken. It's got a great marinade. The first step we are going to do is make the marinade, and then we'll go on and I'll show you how to cook the chicken. And then we're going to add something really unique to this. We're going to put dates in it, and it's just going to add this nice richness and sweetness to the sauce. It's delicious. And you don't have to turn on your oven, which is even better at this time of year. So we're going to start with the marinade. And I've got here on my cutting board, almost a cat on my cutting board, I'm going to start with the oranges. So orange is another great flavor in this dish. It adds a lot of brightness to it. It really adds something to the lemons, helps tenderize the chicken too. So we're going to need the outside. We're going to use some of the peel of the orange. We're also going to use the inside. So we're going to use the juice of the orange. So I'm going to start by, I've got two nice ones here. Actually, I'm going to go with this really bright colored one. So we're going to take the peel off first. Unlike when I talk about, well, like when I talk about zesting, how we zest our fruit before we juice it. So we're just going to take a peeler and we're going to remove the outside zest and we're going to save that. So we're going to kind of, not really zest, but peel the outside off, and we're going to save that to add into our chicken later. But we are going to incorporate some of the juice into the marinade, and then the juice will also be in the sauce we're going to prepare later. So just run your either a paring knife or your vegetable peeler all the way around. We're not taking much of that white part off. We're really just taking the orange part off. You can see there's not a lot of white on there. It's mostly the orange. And I'm left with that part of it. We're going to need a whole cup of orange juice. And when I made this before, I think it says 2 to 3 oranges. And I found that I couldn't get enough juice out of 2 oranges for a cup. So I did end up using 3 oranges. If you have some 100% pure orange juice in your refrigerator and you only have 2 oranges on hand, you can use some of that juice to fill out your full cup of juice. But like I said, I did not get a full cup of juice out of 2 oranges. So that's why I have 3 here. So I'm almost done with my second ones. We just need the peel of 2 of them, not 3 of them. So I'm just peeling 2 of them. And then the peels we're going to reserve and set aside. So in order to add lots and lots of flavor to our chicken, just like we did with our fish, we want to marinate it. We want to get that marinade into the chicken to infuse lots and lots of flavor. So in the recipe, it says that you can marinate this up to 24 hours. I usually say good 6 to 8 hours at minimum is enough to get good flavor in. But the nice thing about this is that you can go ahead and marinate your marinate your chicken ahead of time and then come back and finish it off later. So you could put your chicken in the refrigerator in the marinade in the morning and then come back and make it at night. Or you could marinate it the night before and then your chicken's all ready to make dinner the next day. I will say the leftovers are equally as good, and when it sits in that nice sauce, it's even delicious the next day. So I'm just going to juice now my oranges. These are pretty nice juicy oranges, but I still don't think I'm going to get a full cup of juice out of only 2. I did only cut 2 in half. Perchance that these were just like super, super duper juicy oranges. So we're going to use a 1/4 cup of juice in our marinade for the chicken. And then we'll reserve 3/4 cup for later. So I'm actually going to see here. We add a 1/4 cup from 1 orange. Not quite. Like I said, it's 2, just didn't cut it. This one's pretty juicy. And And again, a lot of these steps are do-ahead steps, so your oranges are already going to be juiced for you. So that's one less thing you're going to have to do the next day. So it's nice when you can do steps ahead of time and work on it later. Never think about how many oranges it takes to make a cup of juice. So a serving of fruit juice is a half a cup. So you think how many oranges it takes. Imagine if you ate all those oranges, how much fuller you would be. So I always say try to eat whole fruit because all that extra fiber in there is going to make you feel fuller longer. All right, so I'm at just shy of a half a cup, so I'm going to do this one because I need some more juice. And like I said, if you have some orange, 100% pure orange juice on hand, you can go ahead and add some of that to get to your full cup if you need to. Woo! That one got away from me. Okay. How's that looking? I'm at just a half a cup, so when I go ahead to make my sauce, I will have to add some extra orange juice to it. So I'm just going to put a 1/4 cup of orange juice in my bowl right here because I do need that for the marinade. And unlike, orange juice is nice because it has that nice sweetness to it without the acidity of some of your other citrus juices. Touch more. All right, so that's my 1/4 cup for my marinade. So we're going to go ahead and put together our marinade. All right, so here in my bowl, I'm going to add a tablespoon of olive oil. Now here's a trick. I always add my oil with my measuring spoon first before I do my honey, because then honey will slide right out of the measuring spoon. So that's a little trick. So I'm going to do about a tablespoon of honey. Again, this adds a nice sweetness without tons of sugar. It's just 1 tablespoon. And then my honey slips right out of my measuring spoon because that oil was in there, which is perfect. All right. Okay, so now to this, I'm also going to add, oops, moved my bowl too soon, teaspoon of cumin. So I'm trying to incorporate some of those spices and seasonings that we've used in previous recipes so you get full use out of them. So we're going to add a teaspoon of cumin. So you didn't have to worry that you just bought things for one recipe. We're going to use them for multiple recipes. We're also going to add a 1/4 cup of our harissa. So we're going to use this again. A lot of people have been concerned about how spicy the harissa is. And I've told many people it's not as spicy as a lot of your other chili-based sauces. I think it adds more of a subtle spice and more like a, kind of like a roastedy, kind of pepper, more like a chipotle type spice. It's not super hot spicy. I think sriracha is very hot spicy. Grab my towel because I'm making a mess. All right. I'm adding just a 1/4 cup of harissa. This recipe too, everything's going to cook down really nice. So you won't get a lot of heat. There's a lot of other ingredients. And you also have that honey and the orange juice and the dates. And that's really going to help settle down sort of the spice of the harissa. This harissa adds a really great flavor. All right, I am going to move that aside and bring my cutting board back for just a second. We're going to do 2 cloves of garlic, and all we have to do is smash them. We're not even going to chop them. Because we just want that garlic flavor to sort of infuse the marinade, but we don't have to worry about it being kind of whole. So I've got a couple of cloves here. I'm actually just smashing them on the back of my hand and taking the kind of the peel off. I'm throwing that in. And one more. And you'll be surprised how much nice garlic flavor that does really add. I have a little baby clove here. I'm going to throw him in too. Might as well. All right. Just like that. And now I can put my cutting board aside. Okay. So I'm just going to kind of mix that together. So it's a beautiful, bright red marinade. All right, so right here in front of me, I've got my chicken thighs. So the recipe called for 8 small chicken thighs. I bought chicken thighs and they were huge. So my 3 pounds is actually 4 chicken thighs, not 8, which is fine. If you have bigger chicken thighs, it works just fine. We may have to brown them just a little bit longer, but they're going to cook for quite an extended, kind of a low simmer in the sauce. So we won't have to be concerned about them getting cooked or not. And I did do this recipe before with bigger thighs and it worked just fine. So I'm just salting and peppering my thighs. I already kind of dabbed off any excess liquid. All right, so this is my marinade trick. Seen it before. The Ziploc baggie. I like doing the Ziploc baggie because you can kind of roll things around in there. So I'm just going to take my chicken thighs and I'm putting them in my Ziploc bag. If you have a nice flat dish or a nice bowl, you can do them in there as well, but this is kind of my trick, and then I can just throw the bag away and I don't have to worry about that a bunch of chicken sat in there. And we're just going to pour our marinade, which actually smells so good from all that, the harissa and the cumin and the garlic and that orange juice. It's just an indescribably delicious smell. All right, so we're going to go ahead and seal this up. I'm going to put this in my refrigerator. I'm going to marinate this for at least 6 to 8 hours, up to 24 hours, and then we'll come back and we will cook our chicken. Hi, everybody. So welcome back. We're fast forwarding about 24 hours, and my chicken's just about done marinating. So I'm going to get the veggie portion of this ready, and we're going to actually saute the veggies first with the dates, and then we're going to cook the chicken. So I'm going to start with shallots. So we're going to do about 6 shallots. And this one's super easy. Not a lot of cutting for this recipe. So we're going to get our shallots peeled like we normally do. Okay, and then we're just going to quarter them just like that. So we're going to do all 6 of our shallots just that way. We're also going to use that reserve orange peel from yesterday. So I've got that here ready to go. And then we're going to do some dates. So dates are delicious. They offer a great sweetness. They're very readily available. You can find them at any grocery store. So we're going to half them, but depending on what kind of dates you buy, when you open your date up just like this, there is a pit in there unless you buy already pitted dates. So we're going to go through each of our dates and then just cut them in half just like this and set those aside. So I'm going to work on my dates and my shallots, and now I'm going to come back and we're going to get cooking. Okay, so I'm over at my stove, and in my pan right over here, if you can see that, I've got 2 tablespoons of olive oil heating on medium heat. So I'm going to go ahead and add my quartered shallots. Now, if you don't have shallots, you certainly can use some onion instead. A little red onion would be great. All right, there's my shallots. To that, I'm going to also add my orange zest that I peeled off yesterday and my halved dates. Okay, so we're going to let those sort of saute and heat until the shallots turn brown for about 5 minutes, and then we're going to come back and add in the green onions. Okay, my shallots are looking really good, so I'm going to turn you around here so you can see them. They're just starting to brown, making a nice brown fond on the bottom of the pan. I did add just a little bit of salt to them. So now I am going to use a whole bunch of green onions or scallions, whatever you have. Springtime is a good time to get your hands on these. They're very readily available. So we're just going to put these in for about a minute until they just start to wilt down. And then we're going to put remove our veggies from the pan and set them aside on a plate. We'll add them back in later. And then we're going to get ready to cook our chicken. So come right back. Okay, so my veggies are ready to come out. I'm going to bring it over here. So I am just putting them aside on a plate with the orange and the dates. The bottom of my pan looks a little bit browned, and that's okay because we're going to put all that chicken and juice in here, and that will all kind of scrape up and give our chicken lots of flavor. Part of it is because the dates are, sweet and sticky and sugary, so they kind of create that sort of sticky fond on the bottom of our pan, which is fine. All right, veggies are out, so I'm going to go ahead and add another tablespoon of olive oil to my pan. So I had 2 tablespoons before, so this is my last tablespoon because my other one I added to my chicken. And that's going to heat up really quick. Got a couple more green onions hiding in the corner. So here is my bag of chicken. And I'm going to put my chicken in skin side down first. Because that skin is what's going to crisp up really nice. We're using very little fat, very little oil in this recipe. So the skin is really going to give us any of that fat to keep it from sort of sticking. All right, so once those are in, we're going to go ahead and pour the rest of the marinade on top of the chicken. All right, so we're going to cook the chicken for about 6 minutes on the skin side down, and then we'll flip it over and do another couple minutes, and then we'll add our liquid. So come right back. We'll see when the chicken's ready. Okay, so I'm back because my chicken is cooked on both sides. So you see nice brown spots on the first side, and then I flipped it over, gave it a couple more minutes. So now I'm going to go back to, remember that orange juice that we reserved, so about 3/4 cup of orange juice. And then about a cup of chicken stock. It's my homemade chicken stock. You can use veggie stock if you have that on hand too. We're going to bring this up to a boil. Once it comes to a boil, we're going to turn it down to a simmer. We're going to simmer this until the liquid reduces by about half, which takes about 15 to 20 minutes. So right now you can see where my liquid is. It's pretty liquidy. We're going to let this reduce down. It's going to let that chicken cook. So we'll come back about 15, 20 minutes. All right, so my chicken is done cooking in the liquid. You can see it is reduced quite a bit. So I'm going to go ahead and put the green onions and the dates and the shallots and my orange peel back in with all the rest of that beautiful liquid that's left. so that can get some nice flavor on it. So I'm going to tuck that down into all that nice liquid. And then the green onions will finish cooking because remember we just gave them about a minute. Okay. Oh, it smells so good. Can't even tell you how good this tastes. It's delicious. All right, so we got our veggies tucked in. So now we're just going to add a little bit of lime juice. It adds nice acidity to this, nice brightness to it. So I'm just going to actually squeeze my lime right over top. And I'm just doing 1 lime. That's what I did last time, and it seemed like it was about perfect. Okay. Beautiful. Okay. So we're going to let that just simmer together with the shallots and the dates for about 3 to 4 minutes. Let that chicken kind of finish cooking, and I will show you how we're going to serve it up. So my chicken is here and it is done. I just took it off the stove. You can see it is beautiful. That sauce is really thickened up. And it's just so colorful with the orange and the greens. I'm going to top mine now with some fresh chopped dill. This is a whole quarter cup of fresh chopped dill. It really does, with the lime juice, add a really nice freshness to this. It does call in the recipe for dolloping with Greek yogurt. You know, the first time I made this, I felt like the sauce was so rich that it really didn't need it. So I did not do that. So there it is. I like to serve mine up with some roasted vegetables. I've got some asparagus and Brussels sprouts here tonight. It's delicious with roasted carrots and parsnips as well in the fall. So you can carry this recipe through multiple seasons. So I hope you enjoyed it tonight, and thank you for watching, and enjoy.